Jeff Forrest as he shares his speech titled, "I Was a Childhood Pyromaniac."
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
It is true, I was a childhood pyromaniac. At 2.5 years old, when I was standing looking at the fireplace, at the flames flickering, I was admiring them. My mother was in the kitchen cooking. It was dark, it was winter. I decided it would be fun if I just rolled up some newspaper and put the newspaper into the fire. That way I could get a closer look. So as I stood there looking at this fire on the newspaper, it came down and all of a sudden it started to get hot. So I put it down on the sofa. Wrong idea. I didn't know that then. Before I knew it, my mother was screaming. One fire truck came, put out the sofa fire, and they put the big fan at the door and tried to suck out all of the burnt sofa smell. For 2 weeks, I had to smell that smell. Fast forward to age 5. By that time, I had created an alliance, because there's strength for alliance, isn't that true? Myself, Bruce Chapman, and Jerry Green decided to ask my babysitter, Sherry, can we go up on the hill? This was a mid-August day up in the Diablo Valley. Can we go up on the hill and slide down on the cardboard? Can we, Sherry? Please, can we? She said yes. Unbeknownst to her, we had a plan. Earlier that day, we decided to take this cardboard up into the middle of this big field, and we were going to take a little bit of the straw and put it into the middle of the cardboard and see if we could light it on fire. And at that time, I knew better. I told Bruce, I said, Bruce, cardboard will burn. And at that time, I had a speech impediment. I could not pronounce my R's. I said, Oz. And so Bruce said, you idiot, it won't burn. Now, Bruce was a bully. And so, oh, okay, it won't burn. But there we were in the middle of the field. Bruce tried to light the match. He couldn't. I tried. I couldn't. Jerry Green, he was our man. He lit it all of a sudden. Boom! The field's on fire. And it's burning down towards 8 houses. We come running down, and thank God that 2 fire trucks came, put out the big, maybe 2-acre fire, and saved the houses. I was in my bedroom crying when my dad came home from work. And he couldn't understand. Why are you crying so much? They're going to kill me. What do you mean they're going to kill you? They're going to kill me. What do you mean? I thought that the axes on the sides of the fire trucks were to cut the heads off of little boys who started fire. And he said, no, they're not going to kill you, but I'm going to beat your butt. He took off his belt, because that was back in the days when he could use a belt. And he goes, I'm going to give you 3 spankings. Bam! That's the first one for lying to Sherry about what you were going to do. Bam! That's for playing for matches. And the third one, bam! That's just for good measure. I didn't understand the good measure. Yes, just in case. Don't do that again. I didn't until I was 8. And at 8 years old, I was going to summer school. I got off the bus, and sure enough, my alliance partners were there, Bruce and Jerry. They said, hey, there's a fire in your barn. I go, well, we better go put it out. So we ran up to the barn, and sure enough, in the corner there was a little bit of fire smoldering. And it was a dry barn. We had no water there, but we were ingenious. We had a pickle jar, big wide-mouth pickle jar, and for 3 weeks we collected, well, little boy pee in this jar. So we knew that we could take the pickled pee and throw it onto the fire, and we stomped it out. It smelled kind of funny, but it was all good. Later that morning, I was laying on the living room floor watching our color TV like this, and I was watching Gilligan's Island. Some of you may remember. Sherry looked outside, and she said, wow, those are strange black clouds. And I go, uh-oh. And I look out, fire! The barn was aflame. Burned down 2 barns that day. 3 fire trucks came. And next week, we had a little counseling session with myself and the fire chief. I remember he was sitting in our living room next to my mother on this family good sofa. And he said, young man, if you're involved in 1 more fire, we're going to take you to juvenile hall. I didn't know what juvenile hall was, but I knew I didn't want to spend the rest of my summer vacation there. So this is fine. I guess I was cured. So let's fast forward then. I'm 19 years old. I'm driving down the road after a long day of construction. I'm returning to Renton South. I'm up in Jackson, California on Highway 88, and about 5:30 in the evening, this lady is standing in the middle of the road, and she has a frantic, scared look on her face. Help, help. I look to the side, and I see that her house is on fire. So, not having a fear of fire, I pulled over. I told my 8-year-old niece, Kathleen, you stay here. So I came there. There were neighbors who were actually standing looking at the fire. I said, you guys get water. Start squirting on top of the roof. And they were still standing there. I said, you guys get some buckets. Start throwing on top of the roof. They were disabled. They couldn't move. So I said, well, I started helping the man and the wife bring things out of the house. The first thing I got was a big chest of drawers which had most of their clothes. And I asked the man, what next? He goes, get the guns in the hallway. I went into a hallway, and there was smoke in the hallway coming down, and you could start to see some of the things coming from the ceiling. The gun case was locked. It was glass, so I kicked it in, grabbed the 6 guns, took them out. The last thing I was able to take out was the big color TV, and I was carrying it with the wife. I looked, and the whole roof caved in because of the flames. Wow. The house burned down before the fire department got there because of the rural area. And I just went on about my business, didn't even meet the man or the wife. But 2 years later, on that same road, it's the springtime. I was coming around the corner, and all of a sudden I got a flat tire. I stopped and I said, wow. That was where the house used to be. And this was all by now kind of grown over. There was a mobile home there instead. So I knocked on the mobile home door, and I said, well, I have a flat tire, go ahead and use your phone. As I'm talking to my mom about coming to pick me up, I see this TV that's really familiar. I got off the phone and I asked her, is that the TV that survived the fire? She goes, well, yes. How'd you know that? I said, I helped carry it out. She goes, were you that guy, that boy, that claimed, yeah, I was him. She didn't know because I just left, but it was kind of neat how a little Pyromanic balancing came out. They helped me out and I helped them out earlier. What did I learn from my pyromaniac days? I learned that you can take something that might be negative energy in your life and you can convert it to positive energy. I was enabled, I was in action, and I was able to help out that day because I didn't have a particular fear of fire. So what have you learned in your life, in your own life, as a youngster? Something that maybe you used to do or even right now. Because it's never, never too late to go ahead and change. The only thing I have, at least as a question, if any of you are, how many of you have traveled here from? Yeah, if any of you are thinking about having a bonfire tonight out at the beach, please invite me because I want to light the fire.